Oh my God, Mike is back. Mike is back.
Hey.
Did you miss me?
No, I didn't. Although I enjoyed the show on Thursday. It was short. It was like, 12, 13 minutes. And you were like, I don't have that other asshole to keep me going so fucking long.
Well, there's no. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to stay in the flow. You got to stay in the flow. If you don't stay in the flow, then you stop. Then all of a sudden, you stop doing it. It's very easy to stop doing podcasts, and we don't want to stop doing podcasts. But I will say this week was nothing amazing happened. But let me just sort of kick off. Let me just do a little rundown. We can chat about it as we go. So
there was going into the week. There was a lot of storylines. Right? We were excited.
Felt like it was going to be dope. Yeah, but
we got let down. Yeah,
it's a little bit of a letdown. So, let's sort of preamble. Right, preamble is all the big teams are coming off the Champions League. So there's a lot of midweek stuff that usually kind of contributes to teams playing badly. So just a reminder, Chelsea had a 0-0 with Sevilla. Man United had a big win versus PSG. City beat Porto 3-1. Liverpool got by on another heroic game without Van Dijk, 1-0 versus Ajax, who, by the way, Ajax won 13-0 this weekend.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. And I'm always forgetting a team of ours. We have 4. Liverpool. My team. No, I said Porto. Liverpool, City. Yeah. Chelsea and City. Yeah. So that's it. They all won, but they had played between Tuesday and Wednesday, so they were
and
the
other thing is the 3 teams: Tottenham, City, Leicester City, I should say, and Arsenal had to play
on Thursday.
They played on Thursday, and the thing about that is, I think Spurs were home. I think the other 2 teams might have been away. You have to go to like fucking Land of Fire and play who gives a shit, and then fly back and play on Sunday, right?
Yeah. So that's one of the narratives that's flying in these games. And then I think before I go into the rundown, I have some little thoughts here that kind of can account for some of the things that are specifically going on with my team, but in general. I think sports don't want to do this because it's not fun, but if living through COVID sucks just for normal people, it sucks for players. Like, they're not sharp. They don't want to be flying around and dealing with all this bullshit. So it makes sense a little bit that stuff's weird, right? Because it's weird for everyone, right? So on top of all the things that are weird, a condensed schedule, guys flying around, things not being normal, they're not allowed to do what they want. They're not allowed to have parties with hookers. All the hooker parties are out, Wayne Rooney can't bang grandmas anymore. Ronaldo, famously, 5 at a time. These guys, they may not drink, they might take care of their bodies, but they're having sex with hookers like rabbits. So all that stuff's changing. They got to stick with their families and do their social media stuff. So everything's off. And then one thing I thought about with 2 coaches, your coach and my coach, Mourinho's a little while ago, but mine recently. Mourinho started going south and getting weird when his dad died, and COVID took Pep's mom. These are like outside things that you're not supposed to talk about, but maybe football doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, the idea is that these athletes that we watch every week, they're the shirt and they're the team and all that stuff, but they're not people, right? And so you're kind of seeing, what was it? I mean, Marcus Rashford is literally arguing with is it Boris Johnson, like the Prime Minister of England?
over feeding kids at school,
feeding children. Yeah, like he's taking on such a role.
Take some public opinion and just go with the football player on this. It's easy, right? Like, yeah. This is the easiest win you can dunk on. But they just no, don't do it anyway.
Yeah, right. No, fuck that. But to your point, right? Like, you've got Marcus Rashford doing that. Harry Kane sponsored a team. He like the shirt sponsor is Leighton Orient. He said something about like first responders or like hospital workers or something like that. Harry Kane paid for it just to make sure that these teams are staying afloat. It's unlike everything you've seen in America because
it's real. It's much hardcore than
it's much more hardcore, but it's much more life and death from a business perspective, right? We went over this last week or a week before, but that's exactly where they're at right now, right? Like, Harry Kane's helping out so that they stay afloat.
Right. So in that backdrop, we're going to go through so we had crazy scores. We're going to talk about where the table is, but let's just go through the games just to sort of get through them. And I'm going to go through the order that I kind of did the running order for. So the big match week when we did our preview on Thursday was going to be Chelsea versus Man U. Chelsea had been giving up goals after the 3-3, not last week. where they were up to 2. They had the 0-0 versus Sevilla. They should have been beating Sevilla at home. That's weird. And they have another 0-0 with Man U. Manchester United were coming off a tough week, but they pulled it out against, God, I already want to say Newcastle. And then they pull it. They have a good win versus PSG where they play to their instinct, which is sitting back, defending, and hitting teams on the break. So against PSG, they played McTominay and Fred. But this game is like both teams are focused on defense. They'll take the 0-0s and move on. From a perspective of just watching from a neutral,
Oh, that was terrible.
Mendy in goal is good.
No, you're right. Actually, no, he was far and away man of the match, right? Like, and in a couple of different instances, he saved a point for Chelsea.
Or he was just competent. When you like, it's like the shortstop after Derek Jeter looked like the greatest shortstop of all time because
Didi Gregorius was a phenomenal shortstop. I don't want to hear it. And you're fucking Jeter.
Right. I lost it. I forgot his name, but he made people go, "Oh wow, shortstops who can field are really good."
Right,
it really makes a difference,
well,
right?
I think you're on to
Jeter
something.
Was 39. I get it.
the first save he made with Rashford on a break, right? And he was king.
The kick save.
Yeah, it was a very good save, but it's a save that if that goes
no
in,
way,
you're like,
Kepa,
you should have had.
No
that
way,
shit.
Kepa makes that save.
But that's
Zero.
the other thing, right? Yeah, so like that's one where Chelsea fans are getting used to seeing that going in,
right?
And they're pissed off every time because like that's a save.
And this is a stat thing, right? Shots to his save percentage. Kepa's save percentage was like 52%. That's like Claudio Bravo range. And let me tell you, as a person who had Claudio Bravo as a keeper, it felt like every shot went in. It's like, could you just make a fucking save? Like, help us out. Like, I don't expect you to make every breakaway save, but help us win a game and don't be the reason we lost it, right?
Yeah.
And if all of a sudden they have what good keepers are, they're more in like the 65 to 72 range save percentage. If all of a sudden 20% more shots are being saved, all of a sudden, what happens? Chelsea has 2-3 clean sheets in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Just from a keeper. These things, they do things that happen that you're not used to doing. Nothing really amazing went on here. I think United will feel hard done, but like we said, Mendy made saves. And Chelsea will have the Maguire headlocked Azpilicueta on a corner and got away with it. No problem.
Every week, the only consistency in VAR is its inconsistency, right? Like we don't know where it's going to show up this week or where it's not going to show up in this case. But yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there actively rooting against Chelsea, or I guess should have been for the draw, but I like to see them lose. And when that happens, even I was like kind of red-faced, and I went, "Ooh, that should have been a penalty."
Right. You know? And the other one is like, it's like press your luck. It's the little fucking whack-a-mole. It's like, hey, look, it's VAR. We're here. We're gonna take this offside away.
Right.
Hey, listen, I don't love Liverpool at all. They should have won that Everton game.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Like that was completely random. No one can tell me where the offside was ever. It's just it happened. Or for me, I don't want VAR. In fact, I'm now coming around to I don't want replays in any sports.
Well, I think, and this is not my idea, I think Mike Greenberg from ESPN had this originally, and it's not about soccer, it's about any sport. If you basically you get to look at the play again 3 times. 3 times. And if you can't tell after those 3 times whether it's definitively not what you called on the field, you don't fucking change it. You keep going.
In regular speed.
In regular speed. No, I'll give you 1 slow-mo and 2 regular speed. Your choice. It doesn't matter.
If
but
it
even
takes
still, right?
more than 20 seconds, then it's not an obvious, right? The whole thing of like, now the clear and obvious language got mixed up with the fans in VAR, but it should be obvious that there's a mistake, right? Like that was bad. Fine. Keep going. Anyway, we'll go into some other ones. So the other game that I was following, of course, I got up at 4:00 in the morning for this, and I'm very angry that I did. City, just the same, just more of the. I was listening to a podcast, and they called City are playing like a Manchester City tribute band. It's the same movements, but they're wearing the wigs, and it's not the same. It's like it's like that weird Asian guy who sings for Journey. Like, where's the band? Like, what's happening here?
They're older, they're fatter.
No, they're not even that. They're just it's not the band. It's some other guy. Right. So, yes, there are 5 or 6 guys from the 18 months ago City team that won the league, but it's not the same. There are things that aren't happening. West Ham were good. They were fine. They got an amazing goal from Mikel Antonio, again, who's just like saving their ass. You've been singing his praises. It was a back to goal, 4 guys around him. Ball comes in, takes it off his chest, and just flips the ball over.
That's magic.
Not a full scissor kick, but just like a a fall down scissors.
It looks like the best player you would play with in like a Sunday league,
yeah,
who never really went anywhere but did something cool, and you were like, oh shit, that was kind of cool. That level.
But now to critique City on that, they shouldn't have let the cross come in, and maybe Diaz wasn't really ready for like, oh shit, this guy's fucking big and strong. I'm used to being the biggest guy in the league. Praise to Moyes. Moyes has got West Ham playing well. They would have never expected, like, I think if we go back to the first episode, we were like, is West Ham going to win a game until mid-November?
Well, and that's what Jesse said when we had him on a couple weeks ago. He said if we get through November, it's possible we could get 0 points. He was saying that on Twitter last weekend, and he was like, we have 8. I can't fucking believe that. That's great.
They got 8 from Wolves, City,
Spurs,
yeah,
and a couple other games. Leicester, they kicked the shit out of Leicester.
They kicked the shit out of Leicester, right? So they're in good shape. It's very weird. City fans, this is our new normal, and there's a large conversation to have versus Pep. I was in on Pep out early, and now it's not. Now it's kind of like it's seeping into the air. Like, what is happening? Is he gonna stay? Does he want to stay? So he's got his contract up in the air. It's a little bit weird. And, I don't – and City are somehow living on, oh, they're the best team. We're not the best – it's not the best team. It's something not near the best team. It's something else. I don't know what it is. Let
me take it for a sec, because I think that's the problem. No, it's not the problem. It's a feature, not a bug, right? Like, we're looking at the table right now, and we're looking at the 6 weeks in, and we don't know anything about any good teams, right? We like to think that Everton's a great fun story who's going to fade, but are they? Is Liverpool, like, they're the name brand, they're the title holders, they're technically,
we're going to get to them. They're still good.
Yeah, but they don't have, well, Alisson came back, but like we said numerous times, it's all Van Dijk. It's all Van Dijk. Well, guess who's not coming back this year, right? So they're going to get tested beyond they ever thought.
Yeah, but they that goes into us, but the narrative, right? Like the whole Liverpool thing of this, like, plucky, heroic team surviving without their leader, to the point that fucking Memphis Depay, who's Van Dijk's teammate, did a shirt of like, hang in there, Big Verge, our captain, to like he's dead. I'm like, dude, he blew his ACL. He's not fucking Jesus, for Christ's sake. So Liverpool are playing like they're the fucking 12 apostles. And
when he comes back, he's gonna be Jesus.
Well,
they're gonna fucking lose it.
He may not be good. You don't know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That first game back, it is going to be like the Beatles returning to Liverpool. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
there's no pack leader, right? Like usually, and I went back and I looked at 5 years in the Premier League. One of the cool things about the Premier League website is you can go look at any week from this past 5, 6, 7 seasons, however long.
Oh, they have that? Oh, I was looking on FB Ref. I didn't know they had it that.
Yeah, but so you can go based on date and look at the table, right? So I did, and like, generally speaking, the table at the top 4 level at least resembled mostly what it looked like 38 games in, right? Or, at the end of the season. So, but right now, and obviously we don't know how this movie ends, but Aston Villa certainly isn't going to finish third. Is Everton going to finish first? United, City, Arsenal, and Chelsea all in the bottom half of the table. Dude, not fourth, not fifth, not seventh.
I think it's Liverpool, and I'll give my reasons why. They're sharp still, right? The balls still fly around. Like, the thing that I noticed that's bad, that's not there with City, and not there with Liverpool, and not there with Arsenal, and not there with Chelsea. Chelsea sometimes, maybe for a half, the ball moving, boom, 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 into the box. Oh, why is he free? Because they've been playing passes that you couldn't keep up with them. Soccer at the highest level is about speed of thought and speed of movement, right? Liverpool going forward, the ball still moves. And it gets onto Salah, and you're like, oh, shit, fuck, there he is. And you realize you haven't breathed for 40 seconds. You're like, I'm going to hit the post. Oh, fucking shit. But I thought Sheffield were actually good, and the problems Liverpool are going to have are still there, right? Like, defensively, they still have a Trent Alexander-Arnold problem. Once or twice a game, he's literally spinning around, wondering where the guy he's supposed to mark is. But he also puts in 7 crosses that are like, how the fuck did he do that?
I was a wizard with it. But I think that they won the game 2-1. It felt like looking at Liverpool and watching them the last few years, it felt like a game where they end up winning 4-1, and you sort of forget that they were losing.
Oh, no, they would have won 2-0, 3-0.
Right, fine. But like, they were losing early in this game, and again, everybody for a second went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. Well,
Right.
they had a really Sheffield could have been up too, easy.
Absolutely. So, and you're right. Liverpool, of the teams in the current states of where they are, Liverpool is the most likely to be very close. Like they're tied for first. In
Fabinho can give them 80%, and they'll play. What'll happen is Fabinho can give them 80%, and they still have their company. They still have Henderson. They still have their Englishness. They still have Milner. They still have guys that are like, this is fucking England. This fucking game matters, and I will punch you in the face to win this game. Now, on the flip side, Sheffield only has those guys. You can't only have Englishness. And Burnley only has those guys, right? So you need the mix, but you've got to have that identity. And Liverpool have it. So I think they'll be okay. And then going into Leicester-Arsenal, also a weird Arsenal, you could almost say the same thing, the same kind of problems that City have, where it's just like when teams sit in deep and they're just passing the ball around. And they had chances. I don't know what Arteta was doing. Aubameyang was on the wrong side the whole game.
Well, so it's funny you mentioned him. I was going to say, has Arteta ruined Aubameyang? Because he's 70. I saw a stat. He's like 70th in shots per game.
Well, they're playing defensively right now. These teams that are these attacking Guardiola principal teams, they're so afraid of getting hit on the counterattack that they're playing two defensive midfielders because their defenses aren't good enough.
Which, I mean, if you're playing Leicester, right, they are the counterattack, right? Even without Vardy on the field.
But not normally, but Rodgers is an adaptive manager, which is something Pep's not, and neither's Arteta. Rodgers is like, you know what? We're going to sit tight. I got a half hour of Vardy. He scored 47,000 goals versus Arsenal. The second I bring him on, we're going to click. He went no striker because Iheanacho had played on Thursday, and literally David Luiz goes off, Vardy comes on, Mustafi comes in, Mustafi fucks up, Vardy scores. It literally happened like bing, bing, bong, bong, and you're like, oh, that's Arsenal.
Yeah, okay.
So as much as Arteta has changed mentality, it's still the same players, right? It's still Mustafi. They're still strangely missing a creative midfielder.
Is a $350,000 a week hole in their pocket?
Yeah, I get why, but
is it because he tweets about China? Is that why?
No, because you've watched Ozil
I know,
play.
I'm kidding.
He literally walks around the whole game.
Yeah, he does.
And he's like, oh, there he goes. He's like Pirlo. He's like late episode Pirlo's, but playing at the number 10, which is like, there's not someone. You're not supposed to do that. So
and it's so weird to have the rest of that attacking band literally zooming around Pepe and Saka and Aubameyang and Lacazette, and they're all like sprinting down the wings, and he's like, all right, okay, I guess I'll jog a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, he's probably not going to play. But I think Arsenal are still going to have the same problem unless they don't play Mustafi, because Mustafi literally let Jamie Vardy run past him. The only person who was going to score a goal in that game. He stood there, the line was up, Mustafi was ahead of the line for some reason and let Vardy in behind them. Like, what are you doing? It was incredible. But narrative, of course, now is that, a black player gets his money and now is lazy and not scoring goals. You can say that doesn't happen. It fucking happens. So
no, and I wasn't saying anything about him specifically. What I was saying was how Arteta is utilizing him.
Well, I think they've had tough games. They had Liverpool already. They had City already. So maybe when
he would get some shots. That's all I'm saying, right? I'm not saying he's got to score. If he's not getting the ball, who the fuck is getting the ball?
Yeah, if he doesn't score 15 to 25 goals, they're in trouble. So he's got to get there. But, Arsenal fans are getting salty. They don't have the players yet.
Right.
And speaking of Englishness, Burnley played just the most gorgeous shithousery scumfuck football you've ever seen. I was watching that today. It was special. It really was good.
We won honestly, and it was a great Harry Kane performance. But and I'll get to that in a second. Like, I just was so frustrated watching that game, and I thought about how watching a game like this to the uninitiated is like, soccer fucking sucks, dude. Why would I? I'm like, yeah, no, you know what? I can't even argue that for a second. And then I started to think about it. I'm like,
No.
if you think about it more and all of the bubbling frustration from 70 minutes of doing fuck all and then having your striker head a ball out of your own goal on the goal line to save your ass. I forgot about
that. That was awesome.
That was fucking awesome. Like clearance at the death there for Harry.
But not only that,
to go down and then
the thought though, like the pre-thought, like he sees the ball come in, it goes over his head, and he drops to the line where there's already three guys.
This is where the ball's going.
Just so good, so good,
so wonderful. And then you know what? 10 minutes later,
amazing.
On a corner kick at the other end, he makes another heads-up play. He doesn't try to put it on net. He just flicks it to an area, and who's there is Sonny.
Because you know who's always there?
Right,
Sonny. He's
exactly.
always in that spot. Like, that's where he lives.
Yeah. So you go from that, and then more philosophically, right? Like, I'm hating myself for spending this much time on this fucking game, and then oh my god, euphoria, right? So for 75 minutes of that game, I sat there arguing with the imaginary friend that I have next to me who hates soccer and is like, see, this fucking sport blows, dude. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you spending all your time?
The thing is, though, it was from a Burnley perspective, like, it was good. Like, that's what they wanted to do. They literally started the game, smashed Alderweireld in the face.
Yep.
He got scared or was like, I don't feel like getting punched in the face again.
Well, that or I'm a little concussed and I can't see out of my right eye because it's swollen.
Another option. So the defense drops off. Essentially every long ball into Wood and Barnes is now they head it down and kick it out. Like, they're doing everything they want to do. You guys have great midfielders who can play the ball. How about I just skip them and just kick it over to the other guys?
The weird part was we were doing that too. And like, you've seen Spurs do this 100 times, right? But like, they're all
but
back
Dembele was good.
Dembele, yeah.
He was moving. He was trying.
No, he's great.
Stuff.
But like, I could count 10, 15 times where Dyer and Alderweireld just popped it over the top. And I'm like, guys, there's 8 of them back there. Can we try something?
And they're big.
Fuck else?
And you know what? I don't care. I fucking love James Tarkowski.
I knew you were gonna say
love him so much. His big fucking Polish English head.
He's
I love
Harry
him.
Maguire in disguise.
Oh, he's better than Harry Maguire. He's better looking. Now, does Burnley make guys look good? I don't know. But give me fucking Dunk and Tarkowski twice on Sunday, and I'll find someone else to play the ball out.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're not scoring on me. I'll kill you.
And that was exactly it. But so now you have all these results where teams have dropped points. The table looks like it does.
But Spurs
blah,
got
blah,
a big win. That's a big
Spurs
win.
Needed that fucking win. Everybody and their mother was like, the smart money's on a draw because they're just not gonna. They might give up a goal, but they're not gonna fucking. They're gonna.
You know what though?
And
you have to. You know it. Mourinho fucking loves this game. He's wandering around the fucking locker room with his hands on his crotch, going, big fucking balls.
He is.
How fuck you? He wants to go to the press conference and go, Spursy this, bitches. How about that for Spursy? Fuck you. No team of mine is Spursy.
How about this for Spursy, though? They would be top of the table
if they didn't
shit their pants last week.
Yeah, but you know what? Their XG, their goals against, like, this is real. This is real, right?
Yeah,
they're looking good. Speaking of people that did look good, my guy, the Hasenhüttl experience, is on the move. They fucking killed. They killed Everton. They weren't even at the races. So Everton, no depth, man. They have no depth. So they didn't have Coleman. They had to play a center back who's 20 years old from the championship at right back, and it showed. So, you know, Ings is really good. Che Adams is getting really good. Your boy, James Ward-Prowse, the best middle-class player in the league, scored a goal, and they move on. Like, they get the win on the road. And Everton, still top of the league. It sucks that they lost. And they lose Digne for 3 games, who stomped on a dude's ankle.
Yeah,
on
that was pretty aggressive.
On Walker Peters' ankle.
Yeah.
He was behind him. It's a weird one where, like, the press is like, that's a red every day, twice on Sunday. And all the players like, that's within the flow. That he didn't mean to do that. I'm like,
right.
He pressed, like, on his ankle badly. You're like, ooh.
And that's one of those where I'm like, I'm a baby. I'm like, don't show me that in slow motion, please. That's gross.
Anyway, my guy, Hasenhüttl.
Listen, and they're 7th right now.
Is he
They've got 10 points.
In disguise? All the great managers, they come from Southampton.
All the great players too, right? Like, I
all of Liverpool.
Yeah, right, exactly. I think they've been great, and that's another one where you're like, can they press on for a European spot this year? I don't fucking know.
I have no idea what's going to happen.
No idea. The difference, though, that like, and you have to take a seat and you go, okay, hold on. There is only been 6 weeks played. There is only 3 points separating 7th place Southampton or 6th place Leeds.
It's 5 points between 1st and 15th.
Right, exactly. I was going to say 15th place Man United. There's 3, right? 10 and 7. So yeah, as much as you want to say, oh, this shit's crazy, the thing, again, looking back at previous year's tables, when Chelsea won the second time after the Leicester year, right?
The Conte one.
The Conte one. They went on a run of what, like 15?
15
They set a
in a
record.
row.
15 in a row. At this stage, they were like 5th, 6th, right? They were just starting to heat up, and you're
they went from a 4 to a 3 with the wing backs, and nobody had seen that in like 10 years. They're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing, right? Like somebody's about to get really, really fucking hot, and it could be City, it could be United, it could be Arsenal, it could be Spurs,
it could be Leeds,
Southampton, it could be Leeds,
who take out our guys, my boy Jack's Villa. They were undefeated at the time. This was the Friday night game. Leeds were incredible in this game. This is one of these games, like, go on Peacock and just watch it, because you'll be like, oh, this is how it's done. So the same thing that happened in the first game. Anytime the ball turned over, the entirety of the Leeds offense took off doing fly routes. They were just gone. And now, weirdly, Patrick Bamford got a hat trick in this game late in the second half. So at the break, it was 0-0, 1-1 something, very close. And then in the back half of the game, Leeds scored tons of goals. They got a hat trick. But Leeds had 27 shots on goal, which is a lot. And
that's
Villa
a lot
had
for hockey, right?
Yeah,
like
Villa had good chances as well. But this was a really entertaining game, a really fun game, and I would say this was Leeds' best performance. But Bamford missed 4 open goals, and he had a hat trick. So, and some of his goals late were one of the last goal is really good. Into the box, tiptoes around 3 guys, no backlift, top bins, quality. I mean, really, really good stuff. So that's worth a go. That's worth a rewatch if you are insane and want to watch an old game.
Might be.
I do things like that because I'm a
But like that's actually where I think NBC's done a good job. Where like they have like the 10-minute.
Those are fantastic on YouTube.
Right? Like, so it's not just the highlights. It's not like, oh, every goal is happening here. It's like, here's the build up. Here's a minute before that goal. Right?
Yeah.
And
like, and then you can go back.
Then you can
go back if you want to watch the whole thing. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But for bad games,
minutes to pay attention.
You know what's really bad? You know it's a bad game when there's a 10-minute highlight and they show a yellow card. You're like,
you know what? You know what? They would probably do that at least twice from this weekend. United, Chelsea, and Spurs, Burnley. Yeah, there's not 10 minutes of highlights between the 2 games.
No,
okay?
No. Fulham Palace. This is a Zaha game. Fulham. Oh, the only reason they'll bring it up is because Fulham's going down. And then the other question is, was supposed to go to your team. He left for United a long time ago from Crystal Palace. Now he's back. He's now at the point where he's just like, should I leave? It would be his team forever. It's interesting.
I think the bigger question is, does anybody want him anymore?
I don't think so. He's too old.
Where is he gonna go? Yeah, I imagine he would go somewhere in like Spain or something. He just feels like a Spanish winger at this point, right? Like
Delafeu. He's Black Delafeu.
Yeah. Like not necessarily for like Bart, but like for Valencia or something like that, right?
Yeah, and does really well, and people are like, oh my God, who's Zaha? I'm like,
you know what? Here's
been
the
doing
other
that
thing.
in Premier League for a long time.
Maybe he just really fucking likes living in London and nobody giving a fuck about any expectations.
No, he was supposed to go to Everton. He was supposed to go to Arsenal. Spurs. He was supposed to go everywhere. He just they never let him go because no one paid the fee.
Right, exactly. And then at some point he was like, I'm kind of the guy on a meh team, and I kind of get paid a shit ton and do whatever the fuck I want. Like, that's kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, right? Like, maybe the ambitions of everybody aren't the same as what we always kind of think that they are, right? Like,
I think just like, it depends on the guy,
I live
right?
in West London, and I fucking love my life.
Well, it's South London.
South London, yeah.
It's right. Like, it's kind of...
Well, he could live in West London. Like,
yeah, it's still far, though. It's a weird city.
Yeah.
And then we have Wolves, Newcastle. I don't know why. I watched some of this.
God bless you. I did less homework this week than
it was okay. I mean, Jimenez's goal was really cool. It was a set piece. He's in the wall, like getting ready for the header, and then he peels out to the edge of the box, like, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out. pops to him, bang.
And they hit him. Nice.
Yeah, a really good goal. But
and
then
Newcastle got one late, didn't they?
On a free kick by a guy who hasn't scored a goal in like 14 years. Like he should never be taking free kicks. It was random. Goalkeeper Patricio could have got it. Kind of
like
under him. It felt a little uncomfortable. Like somebody could have saved this. And then I'm worried. I'm worried about Brighton now. It's official.
Yeah, they're flirting.
I'm worried about them because too many results going against you, and you're playing one way, and you're just like, this is fucking. Why can't we score? We're supposed to be scoring. Like, why aren't we scoring? So I did a deep dive on this. I went into FB Ref, and I recognized they have like a top 4 goal. They should be winning, and their goalkeepers only saved like 50% of their shots.
Ooh,
so maybe I'm either they're giving up really good chances and it's a small sample size, or maybe they just have a bad keeper.
Maybe he's Kepa in disguise. That's not good.
He might be Kepa in disguise.
Oh boy. Well, the other good news for them though, right, is like there's 3 teams
they gotta beat
with 1 point.
You gotta beat West Brom.
Yeah. But that's like we said in the preview. I think that we could look back and say that was a potential, relegation 6-pointer.
Yeah.
But I think that they're gonna be okay because they're like they could come in 16th or 17th.
Yeah.
Pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna be very. I mean, Fulham has 1 point miraculously. I'm looking at the table. I was like, they don't have any. Oh, somebody drew with them, right?
Yeah.
Burnley is Burnley. They're gonna
find a way. They'll find a way.
But West Brom, I think, drops below.
Yeah, they didn't sign it. They're not good.
Right. So and then what it becomes down to is
you have to be better than 3 teams. Yeah.
I think it's a 2-horse race. It's a 3-horse race for 2 spots right now. It's Brighton, West Brom, and Sheffield United for those 2 last relegation spots, right? So do we both like Brighton to come out of that? Of course, but
it could go wrong.
How many times do you look at like the missed opportunities tell the story of a season, right? I mean, you hear it at the top of the table, but it's even more pronounced at the bottom. Yeah. And you're right.
It just seems like Mopé misses a chance like every time. You're like, what the fuck, dude? They're making chances. Like I just was watching the game thinking, why wouldn't somebody and not that guys don't want to do this, but like if they had someone like Cavani, they'd be awesome.
Right.
Not that Cavani would ever want to play there or whatever, but hey, Brighton's nice. If there's a nice part in England, it's Brighton.
A beautiful stadium.
And it's a nice town. I've actually been there. It's really nice.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, nice. That's the thing I was about to say. They're not going to get – like Cavani's not walking through that door, right?
I know.
So the Neil Maupay's, you live and die with
By the
them.
way, it literally is like having a team in a town in a Jersey Shore. It's like if Idlewild had a team.
All right. Okay. Without the douchebags, I suppose, right?
Replace douchebags with gays.
That's significant. That's a significant upgrade. That is
high
watermarks on the douchebags.
The gay capital of
gays are fun. Gays can drink.
They're getting it. People. And they like soccer. They're in.
I
guess as we were going through this, we were just kind of like talking about a little bit about taking chances, a little bit about teams not finishing things off, focus. Again, I feel like this is all COVID shit and just teams are all discombobulated. They're playing more games. They're playing condensed schedules. It's going to be a weird season. I think like you're going to hear it here first. Some weird team is going to win. It might end up being Liverpool, but if it's not Liverpool, I bet on if Leeds wins the league, they will set Leeds on fire.
Bielsa's going to drink himself to death. That's a guarantee.
I don't think he's a drinker. He's a guy who reads books. He's like from an intellectual family.
Yeah. But if he wins the Premier League, he may not drink. He's going to drink that night, right? Like,
he might just leave, and he'll just leave. He's like,
100%.
He'll be like, I'm done.
The fuck else do you want me to do now?
Yeah, he's 65.
You want me to come in 14th next year? I'm out of here.
With a bad back, and he sits on fucking garbage cans. And I think, he's ready to leave.
No, I did my spiel. I think the only thing I wanted to chime in on City was like, I think the cover band joke nails it, right? Because how many times have you seen Raheem Sterling come in twice at the end of a game, and even Mahrez at the death there? None of those balls go in the net. Like that was what's weird to me, right? Like City just
Here's
when
the
they
news
bite,
flash.
you feel it, and they're biting, but it's not making a mark
My guy,
yet this year.
You need a striker. Like City, I mean, I'm sort of not really realizing how fast time is passing by. City haven't bought a new striker since Gabriel.
Jesus, but he's like 23.
Yeah, but that was 4 years ago.
So what?
They haven't gotten a new one, right? But you
guys
gotta bring in guys.
This is why nobody likes you. You got to get a new one. Your awesome striker is 24 or however old he is. And you're like, nah, dude. Nah, I get that. But I'll tell you what, another thing. Phil Foden with that catch, turn, and shoot.
Oh, what a legend.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, but then they didn't kick on.
No. See, that's where I disagree. They did. They held the ball. They had the significant amount of chances. By the way, we didn't talk about this. Who had the chance at the end for West Ham and tried to chip Ederson?
I don't remember.
It was it was one of those where like everybody stopped because we thought you were offside, and he just kept going. And Ederson came out on a loose ball, and he tried to chip him, and it just didn't work out for him.
I don't know.
That was the point in my day where my feed on my Reddit stream chopped up a little bit. So I saw him go. I saw Ederson go fucking come flying out, and then I didn't see anything.
I don't remember that. I mean, I know that there were some. With City, there's always guys breaking through because they play such a high line. But
sure,
the thing I just watched the whole game that I noticed and didn't really notice before, and if you know about City, was Fernandinho. City used to be able to defend so well that they would play 4-1-4-1, basically one striker, the four midfielders, and then only one holder, and it was Fernandinho, and he could handle it. Rodri can't handle it. And what happens is his guys just run past him. And he doesn't even get to foul them. Like, Fernandinho would foul people so that they would get fouled and they would just stop the play. With Rodri, they just run past him. He's just not athletic enough, right? It's these weird, non-athletic, high-technical skill players that City has. Garcia in defense, Gundogan, Rodri. They're not fast. So guys just run right past them. So you're looking at, like, the guys I think about are like Conte, Idrissa Gueye, the guy who went to PSG. These like holding midfielders. They for some reason, these guys they're usually super athletic, always strangely African. They don't have to be African. These guys just happen to be African, and they just run and kick the shit out of people and let you play. And City just don't have that right now because
is that the answer, right? To like what the table looks like right now? Is it just FIFA 21? Is it just speed all the time?
I don't know. I mean,
the teams who aren't as fast aren't as.
I think that's true often in many sports, right? The teams that are fast, like no team is ever bad. And, they're just fast. It's never a bad team that, oh man, all they are is fast. It always is a good team.
Yeah.
Basically, if Kyle Walker did not play for City, we would give up goals.
You've been saying that a lot, and I watched that game, and he had that makeup speed, and he just erased something twice. And I went for the first time, not the first time, but the first time in a long time since we sold him. I was like, fuck, I kind of miss that guy. Like,
yes, that dude's good.
He's awesome
because he almost has to play a free role as the stopper.
Yeah.
So he'll be on his side, but he'll run across the field if the break is on that side.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So City's first line is to foul people and stop them. The second line is make sure Kyle Walker runs past him. Anyway, I could talk about City all day.
We could, but real quick before we go, we've got a huge. So last week I was completely sleeping on Champions League. I didn't even know that it was like a Champions League week, and then we did the pod, and I was like, oh fuck, I missed that.
But there's another one.
There's another one this week, but it's one of the two biggest games in any sport in the year, and this is saying something because we had El Clasico last weekend.
Right, it's again
Cristiano Ronaldo versus Leo Messi again. Juve versus Barca. Wednesday at 4 p.m.
They are both reduced. They are both reduced. Cristiano cut his man bun, very important, and he's coming off COVID. Whether he had any symptoms or not, his Instagram feed is fucking gay porn. He's the most handsome man who's ever lived. It's incredible.
Yeah, and he's got abs on his abs, so I'm not really worried about his cardiovascular fitness.
Yeah, he's fine. And Messi has not scored in La Liga, or has not been. He's checked out. I mean, this is like you want to talk about a guy who's checked out. He basically said to his boss, I don't want to work here. I said that I was going to leave. My contract said I could leave. And on a technicality, you guys are keeping me here. It's no wonder everybody wants to leave. But I'll stay because I've been here since I was 10 years old.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, that, and he was like, City would have bought me. PSG would have bought me. But then FIFA would have came after their ass again. So they decided it probably wasn't worth it. And I was catching shit from you guys. So half a little bit of this, half a little bit of that. I guess I'll fucking stay again. We're doing a great job of pumping up this matchup, by the way. But no, I think
people are working. We're losers.
Yeah, but like it's 4:00. You could take an early one. You know, I think it's for all the Champions League matchups this year. I watched the draw and I was like, there's not a lot of cool.
No, this one's good.
We had United PSG. That group is going to be a knife fight the whole way through. United now turn around and play Leipzig, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I think there's 3 good games, right? You got Dortmund and Zenit St. Petersburg from Russia. That's going to be a fun one. And I think all the – what's that?
My sleeper game is Atalanta Ajax. That's going to be good.
Well, if you like goals. If you like goals, Ajax scored 13 last year, and Atalanta scored 3 a game. Not last year, they scored, I think, like 96 goals or some shit like that.
They're really good. Now,
so that's the game you want. If you want to just do a shot every time they score, you'll be in the hospital. I think that's the 3, right? But I mean, all the media coverage is going to be on Juve Barca, and for good reason. But I'm curious because Barca just got their dick knocked in the dirt by Real Madrid, right? They ended up winning like 4-1, I think, 3-1.
3.
So, and obviously Cristiano Ronaldo of Real Madrid fame, and I wonder if that's going to be like a storyline in the game where like Cristiano's like, "Hey, how'd you do last weekend?" You know, just to twist his nipples a little bit. Because as much as Messi still doesn't want to be there and all that drama bullshit that's going on, he fucking hates not being definitively better than Cristiano Ronaldo, right? Like,
he's driven by something for sure.
Right. So he's got that again, right? When Ronaldo left,
he's going to push. Yeah.
Right. When Ronaldo left, Messi got worse comparatively, right? Because it was the Batman and Joker sort of rivalry.
He didn't get worse. I didn't think. I mean, last year he was still incredible. His role is changing, right? Like instead of 35 and 10, he was 22 and 15 for goals and assists, which for a normal human being is a career season that it would make your team go insane. But for Messi, it's just the 10th season in a row that he's done that.
Right. And it's less.
He's so good. He's so much better than anyone ever that when he has a 20-goal season, you're just like, oh, I guess he's getting worse.
But the difference is that it's almost like it reminds me, and not in the same way because these guys are on the same team, but like the Mantle and Maris year of 60, 61.
Sure, they push each other.
Right? So they push each other all the way through, both from a team perspective and from an individual. So now they're in the same Champions League group. They play each other twice.
Oh, they're going to fight. Yeah, they're going to push.
So that's going to be – that's why even if they're old, they're a little bit older and they're a little bit disheveled and a little bit COVIDed, I'm in. I'm all in on that.
It's Lion in wintertime, right? It's the old fighters going one more time. It's just like it's getting near the end. Like when they go, I mean, this is for a whole nother pod. When they go, there's no replacement. There's nobody like those two.
No.
It's not like now that I've been watching soccer for a long time and I kind of rose up in their era. Now I'm just like, oh, this does not happen.
No.
This is weird.
No. Yeah.
These two dudes are weirdos.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, people talk about all-time greats. They have 3 seasons where they scored 25 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 4, right? And then they're like, oh, he's declining. Messi and Ronaldo are consistent. 15 years, 25 goals. Unheard of, never done. Don't ever fucking tell me about Maradona. I can't with the fucking Maradona shit. It's bullshit. He was on drugs. He was on coke. He had 2 good seasons and a World Cup.
Does that not make him
Shut
better, though?
the fuck up. It's a lie. It's bullshit. It's just like he wasn't on TV. So we have one moment that everyone just watches like, oh, I'm like, dude, we've seen every single game Messi's ever played. Fired up. All right, let's go on that. I'm out of here. Bye.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Watch Barcelona versus Juve Wednesday at 4. We'll talk about it on Thursday, and we will look ahead to the Premier League weekend, which who fucking knows? We'll figure it out by then.
That was the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike Salerno and Laurent Cortines. This was a crap football, crap pundit production. We will return on Mondays and Thursdays for the Premier League season. We will talk about soccer and other things that interest us. Mike is crazy. Laurent is insane. That's why it works.